Rockstar families, and welcome to our weekly VODCAST for the week of February 17th, 2014. I hope that you've been staying warm and busy during all of this snow that we've received here in Virginia. It's crazy. I feel like I'm really back home in Pennsylvania, the amount of snow that we've received here this year. Pretty crazy. Anyway, I have a lot of announcements I want to pass along to you, and then I'm going to send you off to our strategy session so you can get busy right away with a lot of the things that we'll be learning and studying this week in class. The first announcement I have is the fact that tomorrow is a full school day, the President's Day holiday. It's a snow makeup day because of all of the days that we missed. So tomorrow's a full school day. Next announcement would include the fact that Jump Rope for the Heart was scheduled for Thursday. Obviously, that was canceled because we had no school. That is now rescheduled for this Thursday. So remind your rock star to wear shoes that they're able to jump rope in on Thursday. And they'll be doing that during the regularly scheduled PE time a little bit earlier, starting at about 2:20 on Thursday. Will be jump rope for the Heart Day. Also on Wednesday, we'll be cheering on our own Porter Colbeth in the rescheduled, I feel like a million times, Geography Bee. That is on Wednesday at 9:15, and we wish him all the best. We cannot wait to see him display his knowledge there. He's been working so hard on that. A couple of other announcements I just want to pass along. I know that I've been telling you that the Writing SOL was tentatively scheduled. Now we have permanent dates. It seems March 18th and March 20th will be the dates of our Writing SOL in room 21. Just try not to schedule appointments on that day. Obviously, when we get sick, we get sick. So if your child gets sick because of, during those dates, we can make it up. But try to make sure they're in school as much as they possibly can be during the rest of February and March so that they're not missing any instructional time to prepare for the Writing SOL. I'm so excited to see how well they do. I know that they're going to perform really well. So I'm really excited about that, and we continue to work on different areas there to prepare as we go. Another thing, our writing Grammaries are on February 28th, 2014, next Friday. Students are putting together their writing album portfolio with pieces that they feel best represent them. They're designing the cover. And there is going to be so many awards. It's going to be a very formal ceremony. It's going to be just like the Grammys. So we're going to have our own Grammaries. Here's what I'm asking of you, friends you may know, anyone. I'm making all of the different trophies and whatnot from scratch. Some of them can be cheesy, fun. If you have old trophies at home, if you just have junk at home, just send it my way and I might be able to use it for something. Maybe like bottles, food containers as long as they're washed out, things like that, old trophies, just junk that you might want to get rid of. I will be more than happy to take because I'm going to make some really cool trophies for February 28th at the Grammaries, and I cannot wait for that moment. I want to make it really special for the rock stars because they've been working so hard in writing all year long. So if you have anything, if your friend has anything, neighbor, anyone that you possibly know, send it in with your rock star over the next few days, and I greatly appreciate it. So thank you very much. I believe, looking over my notes really quickly, that those are all of my announcements for the week. One other thing, I almost forgot. On Friday, we will be wearing blue to honor the Creyer House for their House Point victory in the month of January. So congratulations to the Blue House. We'll be wearing blue on Friday. And I think that's all of the announcements that I have for the time being. Now I'm going to send you over to the strategy session. We're learning so much in class this week, especially in math. So make sure you stay tuned for that. I'll actually be sending home some materials that you can work with your child this week in math, because vocabulary with geometry, especially this week, is going to be key. So I'll be sending home some things in which they can practice and advance their understanding. I'll see you on the other end. Hope you have some fun with this strategy. Okay, Room 21 Rockstar families and students, I just wanted to start us off today with a cool little song to get you going with angles, and then we're going to advance into some triangle work and then look at what we'll be doing this week in class. So, just stay tuned. Here is a little video I thought was pretty cool just to sum up angles. Okay, guys, so I thought that was pretty cool, just as an introduction with angles. So, a couple things that I actually wanted to take you to right now would include a quick little review that I put together for classifying triangles. So this week, what we actually did was we looked at triangles during our glow-in-the-dark math day, and we said that they can be classified in a couple of different ways, and here they are. So first of all, we can classify triangles by their side lengths. Okay, so if all three sides are equal length, that means it's equilateral, or they're all congruent. Okay, that means the same thing as equal, right? And the way we remember this is it sounds like equal, so equilateral means all sides are congruent. Isosceles, that's how you say this word right here, this is when two sides are congruent. So if you notice this side has one line and this side has one line, but this has a double line. That means that this side length is not congruent to this side and this side. These two are equal, this one is not. That makes the triangle isosceles. And then we talked about scalene. If you notice here, one line, two lines, three lines, that means none of these sides are congruent. Okay, none of them are the same length. That makes it scalene. So, the first way we can classify a triangle is by their side length. Now, the second way we can classify a triangle is actually by their angles, and we've been working on this a lot recently, actually. So if you look very closely, I know it's kind of hard to see, it's showing up kind of poorly here. Let me actually pull out my scribbler one more time. Just going to move this down for you guys a second. Okay, so I want to highlight right here because there it says 60 degrees, 60 degrees, 60 degrees. That means the space between these two rays is 60 degrees. Okay, that's the angle, 60 degrees, 60 degrees. If all angles are acute, meaning they're less than 90 degrees, so that's 89 degrees or less, we say that these angles are acute. Okay, here's an example of an acute angle. Okay, if all angles are acute, these are each 60, that means it's an acute triangle. We kind of determined last week in class that was kind of an easy one to remember. Now, an obtuse triangle is when you have one angle that is obtuse. Now, right now as you're watching this, ask your rock star, man, what does obtuse mean? And if you look at this angle right here, okay, this is 124 degrees. This one's 36 degrees, and that's 20 degrees. 124 degrees, if you have one obtuse angle in a triangle, that automatically makes it an obtuse triangle. And finally, the last one's pretty simple too. A right triangle is when you have exactly a 90-degree angle in your only one in your triangle. We determined last week that you can't have more than one. And what you can do is actually take a sheet of paper if you don't have a protractor at home, up to an angle, and you can put it right into this corner. And if you can put it in there neatly without anything hanging out, that means that you have a right triangle. Okay? So the two ways that we can classify triangles include by their sides, okay, and by their angles. So what I've done actually right above, let me scroll up to this now. This is a way for students to get house points. If they come in tomorrow, they can just recreate, okay, the triangle. It doesn't have to be perfect, but the lines on the sides are very important. And they need to be able to name these in two ways, by their angles and by their sides. So if we go back down here really quickly, if we look at number one, we have to name it by its angle. So I'm looking at this angle, and this angle. What I notice about all three of these angles is they're all acute angles. So that means this is an acute triangle. Let me scroll back down here so you can see. All angles are acute, 60, 60, and 60. Okay, now they don't all have to be equal. They just have to all be less than 90 degrees. Okay, now a way you can remember that is, and the way we've been talking about in class, a clock, 3 o'clock, the hands will look like this. Okay, this is a right angle. If it's less than 90 degrees, that means it's smaller than this, smaller than our right angle. So a couple acute angles would look like this or this. I could draw another one for you. Maybe they'll be faced like this, but this distance is definitely less than that 90-degree angle. So this is an acute triangle. Now, we have to look at the side lengths. I have 1 line, 2 line, 3 line. If you remember, what does that make this, guys? Good, that makes it a scalene triangle because all sides are different. Okay, so here's what I'm offering the rock stars. They can earn 1 house point per question if they just come in, write down number 2, draw this triangle, show me the lines on each side, and classify it in 2 different ways, by the angles and by the side lengths. Okay, number 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1 house point each. So let me just put this right here so that you can see everything. Remember, you just have to rough sketch the triangle, put the lines on each of the sides, bring it in, name it in 2 ways. You can get a house point a piece. Okay, and what I'll do really quickly is actually scroll back down to my chart here that I showed you at the beginning, and you can freeze the screen on this too if you want to have a little bit of further practice with that. Okay, now I'm going to take you over to the web. Couple areas today on our website that I want to point you toward. So measuring angles, if your Rockstar is working on measuring angles, classifying triangles, any of that, I still have all of those videos and activities that I had up last week. They're all under the class news section. One new area I just want to show you really quickly is under Khan Academy. This week we're going to be working on plane figures. Okay, that includes a parallelogram, rhombus, trapezoid, etc. Now the challenging part of 5th grade with geometry is the fact that now we know, okay, this is a quadrilateral or a parallelogram or a trapezoid. Now the 5th graders have to know, they have to be able to compare and contrast each of them. Okay, they have to be able to say to themselves, well, a square can be a rectangle, but a rectangle cannot be a square. And we're really going to be working on all of that vocab this week. So one area that I pointed you toward was actually Khan Academy in a couple of the videos. The video that immediately comes up when you click that link is amazing for that, as well as quadrilateral types, and you can even work on some triangle work here. Okay, and the cool thing about the Khan Academy is you don't need an account here. I just got into this with no account, no username, anything. You can watch the video, but there are also some practice areas down here. If your Rockstar, every video that your Rockstar works on, they can get 2 house points for if you just sign a paper saying, hey, they worked on this video, Mr. Reichard, and I was able, you know, I know that they did. I can attest to that, okay? I totally trust the Rockstars. But that's some great practice. And the Khan Academy videos, sometimes in class, when I show them, the students will say, oh, I get that now. So sometimes just a second approach to something or a second look at something can really help them to get it. So that's the math. Later this week, I'll be actually sending home in a sandwich bag full of different plane figures for the Rockstars to work on their vocabulary with. I'm not sending home any worksheets or anything, but they really have to develop their vocabulary with geometry this week, and that's what we'll be focused on all week long, is the vocab, before we get into perimeter and area and next week. Okay, a couple of other areas I just want to point you to really quickly. This week our reading comprehension skill is drawing conclusions. If you go to the study zone, this is kind of the same type of site that I had last time for cause and effect. What it does is it gives you a passage, and the students have to draw some conclusions. Now, obviously, when we draw conclusions, it's kind of like making an inference. It's kind of taking information from our mind, taking information that is given in the passage, and coming to a conclusion, coming to an end result. Okay? So that's some drawing conclusions work. At the end of this week on Friday, the Rockstars will be taking their American Revolution assessment on Friday. Now, our debate on Wednesday before we head out, here's a picture you can actually see, was amazing. I am absolutely blown away by the effective effort of the Rockstars in preparing for this debate. And I wish that I could show you somehow how well the kids articulated their thoughts. It was incredible, guys. And I just want you to know that your Rockstars are doing so much above and beyond when it comes to debates. I'm just so proud of them with that. They're really blowing me out of the water. So with social studies, a couple of areas that you can look toward would include SOL Pass, and I'll actually be posting a study video probably tomorrow or Tuesday for the Rockstars to use for the American Revolution assessment on Friday. This week we'll be looking at the Declaration of Independence, the end battle to the American Revolution, important individuals of the Revolution, and I have a ton of cool activities for us there. Now, as you know, the writing SOL is coming up. I have full confidence that the Rockstars are going to blow it out of the water. Their writing has come so far. We continue to work on grammar. So the one area of support for writing at home would just include to write. Literally write. Every single day, the Rockstars have sacred writing time where everybody, including myself, sit down for 10 minutes and we write. Writing fluency is so important. So I put up a new prompt. Think about a pet that you would like to own. Write to explain what you would choose and why. Now, once again, these are suggestions, but here of what you can do each night. But the idea is, and I'm not a big writing to a prompt person, just get your child to write. It could be at the kitchen table, it could be on the way to school if you're driving them, or encourage them to write on the bus, anywhere that they can possibly write. Just getting that writing fluency up is the best resource to use to get them to write. One other announcement before I send you back to Mr. Reichert in person would include the fact that a lot of the rock stars who turned in the Bedroom Blitz papers are so anxious to find out who won. We received so many entries that we're still combing through to decide, using a rubric, who is going to be the winner of the Bedroom Blitz. And like I told the rock stars, they will find out whenever their bedroom is blitzed. So we'll be contacting the family to set some things up, and then that bedroom will be blitzed in the coming months. We are so excited about it. We're so excited for everyone who applied, and we can't wait to share the results. So I'm going to send you back over to Mr. Reichert in person. Thanks for sticking with this. Rock stars, if you stuck with this video and you come in tomorrow and tell me the code word is full week. If you tell me full week, that's what Mr. Reichert's hoping for, you will get yourself 3 house points if you tell me the code word, which is full week. I'll see you guys later. Okay, Room 21 Rockstar families, I hope that those strategies were helpful to you. Let me know, did they work? Too much, too little? As always, I hope that you have a wonderful week. I hope that we are able to have a full week of school this week. And as always, if you ever need anything, let me know. I'll be more than willing to chat on the phone, email, anything that you possibly need. You are the best families in Stafford County. I am so gracious for the children that you send to school every single day. It's such a joy to teach them. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next time.